We might recognize her from The Office, but the subject of today's Hollywood happenings plays a much more serious role in a new movie being released this Friday. And Jim Ferguson, as always, is here with more. Jim, happy Tuesday to you.
This is one of my best days of the week.
Yes, it is.
I get to visit with you and talk movies.
Yeah.
And of course, it's 1517 to Paris, Clint's new movie. But just a little bit about Jenna. You mentioned The Office. She won the Emmy for supporting actress for that role in The Office. Do you remember her for Brad Status? We had her on for that.
That's right, playing next to Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, right.
Yeah.
And she's going to appear in an ABC TV series called Splitting Up Together.
Splitting Up Together. Well, she's just really making a comeback, isn't she?
She is.
She was gone for a little while because she had all that fame with The Office.
And in this movie, she plays the mother of one of the young men who is involved, of course, in the whole film.
That's right. Give us a little history behind the 1517, the story behind that.
Yeah, it's a true story, of course. August 21st, 1517, and these three young Americans, two servicemen, and one was our friend, traveling through Europe. They apprehend this terrorist and save hundreds of lives. But what Clint did was he used a lot of flashbacks going back to their childhood, which tells the whole story. But it's a story that should have been told and needed to be told because all of America was proud of them.
Absolutely. They were proud of them. You know, they were real heroes is probably the appropriate word for them. I mean, that's maybe understating what they were able to do and to save all these lives. So today we're going to talk to Jenna, and what was that experience like for you?
We have 5 minutes, okay? I asked her 2 questions.
Yeah.
You edited it. You know how much she talks.
I do, and I think out of a lot of interviews that you've done, this must have been one of the simpler ones because she was actually willing to say things.
I didn't get to half my questions.
Well,
you know,
let's see what you
did. Jenna Fisher.
Would you agree with me that the film, of course, recounts the terrorist attack on the train, but there's so much more to this film?
Yes. You know, the thing that drew me to the movie, I had read in the papers when this event happened in real life, and I knew what these guys had done, that they had stopped this terrorist attack on a train to Paris. But what I didn't know until I read this script and was part of the film were the extreme number of coincidences that led to them ever knowing each other in their lives, remaining friends, happening to all be together in Europe and on this train at the same time.
What are the odds?
Exactly. It wasn't as simple as these 3 guys all went to Europe at the same time and got on a train. Like, it's more complicated than that, and I found that chilling. I found like that idea of like, oh, you have a calling to something, you have a sense of purpose. Coincidences maybe aren't really coincidences. That's a huge part of the film.
It really is. Did you meet Alex's mom?
Not yet.
Heidi?
No, I have not met the real Heidi yet.
But it is true that she had some kind of a premonition, as you were just saying, that something was going to happen to these guys in the future. Yeah,
Alex said that his mother, Heidi, would often talk to him about this idea that he had a purpose on this earth, and she was convinced that he was put here for a reason to do something great. And she couldn't say what that was. And I think that's one of the things, you know, in speaking with him, that helped her be able to manage her anxiety about, you know, him wanting to, you know, go into the military, which was a place where she couldn't keep him safe, where he might be putting his life in danger for others. And she was so proud of him.
I have a minute.
Yes.
You're so good. I could listen to you all day.
Oh, I won't shut up.
Comment on the young man that played your son, Bryce?
Alec? As a little boy.
As a little boy.
Yes, There were a couple,
Yeah. Oh, there were a couple.
Well, they're different ages. So there was like a little wee one and then an older one.
Junior high and high school.
Exactly.
They did a good job, I thought.
Yeah. No, the kids were amazing. The little kids were amazing. And I personally, I love working with kids. I know some people get a little nervous about it, but I just, these kids, they were so sweet and earnest.
Sweet and earnest, 2 words I would use to describe her also.
Right. Was that an easy interview?
So easy. She made it amazing for you.
You know, she's not in it that much either.
Yeah.
So we were limited a little bit, you know, there, but she's so good. And speaking of good, the 3 young men, non-actors that Clint cast for the lead roles, It's good to have a Clint Eastwood directing because it's not easy.
It's the real guys.
The real guys. At times you could tell they're not actors, but it didn't bother me that much.
Well, but for them to be able to play the roles that they played in real life, I don't think I've ever seen that done before. So it'll be great to see their interview on Friday. And as always, Jim, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Alex. You make it easy for me, too.
You make it easy. Now, for even more of these celebrity interviews, just log on to TucsonMorningBlend.com and search for Hollywood Happenings.